explain to us sort of the background, the context to this. What is it that Prince Harry wants to happen?
Which is the long-term campaign from Harry. And in fact, he has offered to pay for his own security, but that security would come from the British police force. Now, that is an arrangement that has so far been rejected by the government. And so Harry has had to use private security firms when he has visited the United Kingdom. He would like to use the police force because, of course, the British police force know better than anybody else how it is to protect members of the British royal family. So we wait to see what the resolution of this particular case will be.
Is it that if he paid for it, but it was based in terms of British security forces, Ed, that they would have information, access to certain information and also resources? Is that what causes this issue?
I think it is. It's also the case that the idea of an individual, and you said it at the top of this slot, that an individual, a private individual, isn't allowed to get, if you like, British police security. This is something normally given to ministers of state and, of course, members of the British royal family, as well as other British VIPs. But it's not something that an individual, a private individual, can have access to, and that is what Prince Harry is currently.
And I mean, there was interesting in our opening, we were talking about celebrity. One of somebody's comments. I'm in the camp that says, and I've said it at a long time, if that's what you want to do, escape the goldfish bowl, my hat is off to you, go and do it. But unfortunately, they land in America, they sell their soul to criticise the very thing that sometimes when it suits them, they want to be part of. And I'm very... Listen, he is, of course, a member of the royal family, but he's not a working royal. He's given himself celebrity status by everything that he's signed with Netflix and Spotify and whatever. And I don't think you can have your cake and eat it. That's just how I see it. I genuinely do.
Yeah, I think this goes back to the original moment when Harry and Meghan left the United Kingdom. They did so, if you like, under the old conditions, which was you're either a part of this family or you're not a part of this family. And if you're a part of this family, you'll enjoy the privileges and the advantages of being part of this family. But if you leave us, then many of those privileges and advantages will be cut off to you. A new, if you like, formula was not found. There have been other royal commentators, historians like myself, that have argued that a new formula could have been found to try and accommodate Harry and Meghan in some way as to keep them closer, if you like, to the family. Because many of the problems that have developed since early 2020 arguably could have been avoided if there had been a new kind of formula.
You could also use the argument, my friend, that the royal family are sick and tired of having them nearby and want them as far away as possible, because any time they come nearby, and I lived on the Long Walk for 7 years, the old man worked for the Queen Mother for 40 years, anything that's said that those two ends up in the newspaper or a book. That's the concern. Absolutely, that's the concern.
And arguably that would never have happened if a better formula for keeping a closer part of the family in the first place had been established. That wasn't established. Look, we're living with the current reality, you're absolutely right that it has been a year full of toxicity and poison. So
do you see it changing?
Pardon, say again?
Do you see it ever changing?
This is an interesting moment. We've got a king who is sick, and I think from that moment onwards, it has raised questions as to whether there could be some kind of formal reconciliation. I think that could only be positive and probably good for the family. Whether the British public agree is another thing altogether.
Should we talk about the wider royal family? You've mentioned that the king obviously is unwell. Yesterday, the Prince of Wales pulled out of what was really quite a high-profile memorial service, that for his godfather. We don't really know why. What reason was given?
It was just a personal reason. That is all we've got so far in terms of the information that's come from Kensington Palace. You know, it's a bit mysterious, and it raised a lot of questions, certainly on social media, as to whether this had something to do with the Princess of Wales and her ongoing medical condition, her recovery from her medical condition. There's a lot of attention on Prince William at the moment, not least because of what's going on with his very close family members, the fact that they are absent from, if you like, the front line of royal public service at the moment. And the result of that is that there's an increased scrutiny of everything he does, everything he says. So it was a bit unusual that he wasn't at that particular memorial event. And it's a bit unusual that no more information was forthcoming as to why exactly he wasn't there.
You're absolutely right. Social media is alight with conspiracy theorists about Kate. I'm going to throw this at you. I've said it already, and I'm a royalist. If you cut me in half, I think the King's iller than people realise. That would be my humble opinion. I could be massively wrong. I could be massively wrong. But you're absolutely right about the scrutiny. You know, whether it's his wife or his father, or he was just having a bad day, there is massive interest in this story, isn't there?
That's absolutely right. And the great challenge for William is that he's now leading a royal family in the absence of his father and his wife, and the fact that the Queen isn't as active as he is as a younger man. He's leading this family, and he's still having to run things along the lines of the second Elizabethan age, the kind of monarchy that King Charles has inherited and which is still being promoted to us, is a monarchy that is meant to be engaging with the public on a daily basis through activities, through public meetings, public engagements. It's an almost impossible task given the much smaller size of the British royal family in 2024. This is the kind of monarchy that emerged under Elizabeth II's grandfather, George V, more than 100 years ago. It's meant to be sort of populated by 7 or 8 very active younger members of the royal family, all carrying out royal work, royal duties. It's just an impossible role to continue fulfilling.
The consequence of having a much slimmed down royal working family. Ed, thank you so much.